Greetings. In this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about low-code and no-code workflow solutions. First, a quick review. Why do we use these? The lean enterprise wants to have the right people taking the right action at the right time to ensure that stakeholder values are maintained. The goals of lean enterprise management is to reduce your elapsed business cycle time, human effort, overhead cost, and manage risks. 3 elements: people, process management, and information management. Over the past few years, we've seen demos of various no-code, low-code workflow solutions and worked with a few at client sites. The good news is they're very good at connecting various application suites together during the execution of a task or stage of a process. Low code and no code is a selling point because of its ease of use. However, they tend to lack a few functions that could be a risk to the overall process improvement situation. Quite often, they're used to automate the same process as was executed manually. They can create additional elapsed cycle times because of some functionality that's not there. They may not be able to provide timely escalations when tasks are not executed. Often, no proper metrics reporting. They often are set up by IT without any prior business process management or modeling education. So here's a minor risk situation. This was authorizing a supplier invoice that was a higher value than the payable clerk's level. The workflow forwards the task via email to the next person in line. So what happens if the person receiving the email is on vacation or ill? Well, the answer I got was, well, the person who started it will get a out of office reply, we hope. If the person receiving the email doesn't take timely action, do you know anybody who doesn't read their email on a regular basis? What happens if the person receiving the email leaves the organization? Hopefully, somebody remembers to change the workflow. A Capital Products make-to-order manufacturing firm recently had this situation. They wanted to reduce the turnaround time for a request for quotation from a customer. The process has a few decision points. Is it a new or current customer? If it's a new customer, there's multiple situations in terms of updating a new customer master on their ERP system. Was the credit approved? Well, at this point, if it's a new customer, that could just be the end of it. Or if it's a current customer, there could be certain conditions created. Engineering. Can we actually make the product as specified by the customer? Product cost and pricing approval. Do we have all the information we need? We need to do that quickly. Then sales creates the quotation with supporting materials, and the quotation delivery confirmation is the end of the process. So here's some of the things that we found out with their workflow product. First, there's no decision points that don't require coding. There's no escalations or red flags based on elapsed time. Well, if you're trying to reduce your elapsed cycle time, you want to make sure nothing gets stopped or is delayed during the process. There's no feedback loop to the sales rep. So if they want to know what the status is of that quotation, they have to go and ask a bunch of people or send emails. And if that request hits a task that requires resubmission, There was nowhere in that workflow where you could restart the task midstream. So how do you minimize the issues? First of all, use a process modeling technology to provide yourselves with a visual of what that to-be process looks like and what the timing and human effort is going to look like. Determine those metrics for managing each stage and the important tasks within the process. Determine how escalations would work. If it's not in the workflow solution, you have to figure out how that's going to happen. Create the target metrics and measure the actual to target. And this is where sometimes you don't get the functionality in the workflow automation product. You need to be able to say, okay, this task should take no longer than 30 minutes, let's say. And if it takes more than, say, an hour, you've got to ask the questions why. But if you can't measure that to a target, then you don't know where to ask the questions. And you know what you're getting into. Workflow, this no code, low code looks really good. Everybody goes, wow, I could do this real fast and it's easy. Not. Both organizations that we worked with that I'm talking about did not know what they were getting into, and this became a bigger issue than they ever expected. Collectively, Emercom has about 100 years of experience in process modeling and automation. If you'd like to learn more, please contact us, services@emercom.com, and unlock the potential of your organization. Take care.